But it has changed, and it's changed for the good. You know, automation has helped it a lot because the instructors have access to this, to teaching, and the kids can see it, and it's just a great place. It is much better than it was when I went through there. It was pretty expeditionary type place, if you want to call it that. But I think right now we're turning out the best Marines that we've ever trained. And the drill instructors have changed. I mean, they got to be smart, and they don't tolerate a lot of bull. And you know, they move them on through there, and the kids leave there. It's something. It thrills me to go back and sit there on the parade deck and see a recruit platoon graduate. And you can see it in the kids' eyes, and you see it in their families. Their families are proud of them, boy. They just, and I've had, even when I was there as a drill instructor, things begin to change. And mothers and fathers come up to tell me they're so proud of their young man, and letters back saying, hey, he never cleaned up his room now. Now he does. You know, it's great to see that. But I'm really proud of our training that we give our young kids now, not only to be good Marines and do the things for their country they have to do, but it makes me proud, and I'm proud of every one of them.
I'm glad to hear that, sir.
Yeah. And we hear people say, you know, and you hear it, you know, our military is not what it used to be. I'll tell you something right now. We got young Marines and soldiers, military folks. They will clean your clock if you just turn them loose and let them do their job.
Oh, I'm sure of it.
They'll get the job done without any hesitation. And so that's boot camp was, to me, actually was fun. They just added the discipline to it. No, you can't go fishing there today, or you know, go out and run on your own, or play fox and dogs. You're going to do what we tell you to do, no more, no less. So you know, that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah.
You're familiar with it, I'm sure.
Oh yeah. When I was in JROTC, they made me run all the time, and I was the person who loved PT.
Yeah. Well, that's part of our program. Is running, and I have done that for all the years, the 44 and a half years I spent on active duty. You know, we started our morning with 6 miles at about a 7-minute mile pace. And it just, you know, and you see, and some of us, we have people, you know, who are tough guys, just didn't have a good day. But we knew that. We knew that about them. And you can see the drill instructors can read your mind. You don't know that, but they can. And they know when you're having a bad day. They know if you're sick, because, you know, you have to pay attention to the recruit, and you get to know every one of them. And you can tell when the kid's being bothered or something's tugging at his mind and it ain't right. And you just take him aside and say, hey, you know, I'm going to bust you in the face. You better get your act together and tell me what's bothering you. And that's what I like about the kids today. They'll tell you, and they'll be honest about it. You know, and 99% of the time, it's not anything that's happening right there. It's just my mother's sick or something. And you have to be aware of that to take care of the kids. Because when we think about it, and the mothers and fathers send their son or daughter to us in the Marine Corps, and they expect us to take care of them. And that's just exactly what you gotta do. And in particular the mothers. Now, through the years, if I got an irate call from a mother, it was always the mother, never the father. I mean, he'd say, hey, suck it up, Joe. But it was from irate mothers, and boy, they would get on you. They didn't care if I was a colonel or a PSC. They'd light you up real fast because they care about your things more. And I always made a habit of telling the people who worked for me, enlisted officers and everything, I said, hey, I'll remind them of this. They send us your kids and they expect us to take care of them. I expect you to take care of them and watch over them and make sure the safety rules is followed and everything is done right. And that's just what we do.
All right. So this is gonna get some of the questions about you in Vietnam. Am I all right to say that?
What's that?
Am I right to ask about what you did in Vietnam? I don't want to start anything.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So when was your first deployment?
My first deployment was back when I was a PFC, but not into combat.
Gotcha.
Yes. Okay. I first deployed, and it was funny. From Morehead City, North Carolina, I was a PFC in the 6th Marines, old dog company, 2-6.
Oh boy.
Yeah. And so I was put on a working party to go down to Morehead City, that's down from Camp Lejeune, you know.
Oh yeah.
And help load the people or our equipment on that road. It was a USS Rockbridge, no troop carrier thing. And we were going into the Mediterranean for 6 months. And I got down there, and I remember looking at this big old ship. It was big, because you put a whole battalion on it.
Oh yeah.
And I thought, there ain't no way that thing can float on that, on that water. It's stay above the water. Because I was just a little country boy from, I'd never seen nothing but Bricetown Creek, probably. And, you know, and it didn't set right with me. Anyway, we loaded up and set sail 2 or 3 days later. And we went into the Mediterranean Sea, and I got to see a lot of other countries, Italy, Spain, France. And we'd make port there, you know, and get go on Liberty, and that would go from like 1700 in the evening until 10 o'clock at night. We had to be back aboard the ship. And you get to see the way other people in other countries live their life. And the second time, I guess I've got a board somebody gave me up there, which is one of my, for Christmas, one of my prized things that I really love. And you've got little magnets you put on there of the world. This is the world, it's framed and everything. Every place you've been. Well, I can't get all the places on there because I've been fortunate to travel a lot and trained with a lot of the other military forces through the years and seen them. But I guess, and I spent a lot of time at Camp Lejeune doing the training, and that gets kind of monotonous for Marines. You know, hey, I'm training up, I want to go do something. You know, and that was a thing with us. And from there I went to Yorktown, Virginia.
Ooh.
And I was stationed there for 2 years. And I'd done 2 years there, and I rode a horse. Hated it. Not swore if I ever got out of there, I never had a horse. It was the last place they assembled the missiles that was going on, the missile ships who could come up the James River there and had that port there. And they had 3 fences around this thing, the whole back in the woods. And the one in the middle was hot. In other words, it had electricity to it. And we had these horses out there that that you'd go to the corral at 4 o'clock in the morning, saddle these things up, and you'd ride the fence line. We had a big old D-Tex clock, they called them. And on certain areas there was a key, and you'd put that key in there and turn it 2 or 3 times and it'd make an imprint on it. That way they knew you was making the right trail. But it was, anyway, I spent 2 years there. I played a little baseball, which I loved, for the Navy. And I went from there to sea duty, which was one of the greatest things that happened to me in my growing up. And I went to Portsmouth. They sent me on Portsmouth, Virginia to sea school, which lasted about a month or something, and taught you about the Navy and all that stuff. And we did, and then they sent me to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and I boarded the USS Boston.
Ooh.
It was the ship, smaller cruiser, really, what it was, battleship. And they had turned it into a missile ship, guided missiles. And we went up, there were 34 of us, and I was on there, served as a captain's orderly I was a corporal at that time, served as a captain orderly. And we made a world tour. It took us 2 years. And I looked at that map up there, and we made a lot of ports because it was a thing that our country could show off, said, look what we got, guys, don't mess with us, you know. And we went down through to the Pacific side when we went through to Panama.
Mm-hmm.
We went through the locks there, and that was awesome. I thought that's the greatest thing.
Okay.
But it's only about as wide as from here to the room we was in up there, you know. You can actually, sometimes the leaves and vines are hanging over the side of this big old ship. And of course later I went back there and trained with the people there, and that was exciting for me. And just to go to all those places and see all the different countries. And I got off there and I went back to Camp Lejeune and there and for, no, I don't know. I was instructor over at the training battalion, what we had then. Now it's a school of infantry. Anyway, I did that, and then I left there and I went to Paris Island as a drill instructor for 2 years. And from there I went back to the 8th Marines at Camp Lejeune. From there I went to Newport, Rhode Island, and I trained there. Now in between all these places I was going to school, not civilian school, but military schools, you know, to all the different schools, to jump school, airborne school, and all that stuff. And because I wanted really to go into the reconnaissance unit. And then I did all that, and it's hard for me to remember all this stuff. But I done my tour on the drill field, back to the 8th Marines. From the 8th Marines, I went to Newport, Rhode Island, as best I can remember. And I done a tour of duty there in the Guard. My commanding officer there was a real famous Marine named P.X. Kelly, who went on to be a general officer and one I still have utmost respect for. And there was Lieutenant Brinkley there who went on to make general. So that was a fun post to be at, you know. It was just easy duty. And from there I went to Vietnam the first time out of there. I went to Vietnam and I joined 3rd Reconnaissance Battalion. That's what I wanted to do. And I spent just about 15, 16 months with them, and come back to the States. And I went to back to Camp Lejeune to 2nd Force Reconnaissance. And I left there, went back to Vietnam again, In between there, I done a PAD to Paris Island, and they called